Are you tired of setting New Year's resolutions just to find yourself in the same exact place 1 year later? If so, then I've got a great video for you today. 4 simple ways on how you can invest in yourself this year. Hi, my name is Erica Wiggins. I make videos on how to be successfully single so you can later be successfully married. However, today's video is not just for the singles, it's also for the marrieds and everyone else in between. So who am I to tell you how to invest in yourself? A little bit about myself. I'm an ordained minister with the Assemblies of God. I have a master's degree in communication, and I recently wrote a book called Successfully Single, which I will be publishing next month on Amazon. And the idea behind the book is before you can be successfully married, you should first be successfully single. It's a lot of my story. Next week, my husband and I celebrate our 5-year anniversary. We have 2 children under 2 years old. Let's jump into today's video. The first way you can invest in yourself this year is by setting SMART goals. A lot of times people fail at making New Year's resolutions because they just make these general goals like, I want to lose 30 pounds. Or years ago, I used to say, I'm going to publish my book this year. But the person doesn't actually have a plan on how they're going to achieve that achievement goal. And so there's 2 types of goals, achievement goals and habit goals. So for the person who wants to lose weight, if they were to set a habit goal, like I'm going to work out 30 minutes a day every day and make a habit of it, they would lose the weight. Or for me, with publishing my book, once I set the goal of writing 1,500 words a day every day, that's when I was able to successfully write and finish my book. But then the editing process and the formatting process and the publishing process took longer than expected. But here I am finally this year publishing my book after years of setting that goal. Okay, so what is a SMART goal? SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So let's go through the list of SMART. So the first one is specific. So instead of setting this general goal, like I want to run more this year, you would set a specific goal that you want to run a half marathon. The next one, measurable. You would make this goal something that you can track, something that is measurable, like saying I'm going to run 3 times a week, 3 miles a day. Okay, A is achievable. So let's say you wanted to run a triathlon or bike, swim, run a triathlon, but you don't have access to a pool or a body of water to train in for the swimming, then it wouldn't be a realistic or achievable goal for you to set. You want to make sure whatever you're setting is actually realistic or achievable. Another example of this would be to say, I'm going to run a 5K next week, but you can't even run a mile. The R stands for relevant. So for example, if you're really trying to professionally develop yourself right now in your career, let's say as a project manager, then you wouldn't want to set a goal that starts taking you down a different career path because that just wouldn't really make sense for where you are right now in your life. You want to make sure that your goal is relevant to the vision that you have for your life right now. And the T stands for timely. This is where you can put a timestamp on your goal. Like instead of just saying, I want to lose 30 pounds this year, you would say, I want to lose 30 pounds in 4 months. And then you would figure out how much you need to lose per week and then set yourself up on a plan for how you're going to get there. So speaking of weight, one of my goals this year is to lose 30 pounds because after having 2 kids the last 2 years, I have not lost the baby weight. And breastfeeding makes me so hungry. I've actually gained a little bit of weight after both of my boys were born. So how am I going to get there? I have set a couple of SMART goals with my exercise time and with not eating any sugar. I haven't had any sugar since January 1st. No added sugar. I'm very proud of myself. So I would encourage you for this new year to just make 1 or 2 or 3 SMART goals for the year. Sometimes we make too many goals and it's not realistic and we're not able to achieve them and we get frustrated and we get discouraged and we just end up quitting. But when you just focus on 1 or 2 or 3 things, it can become a lot more achievable and help you build some momentum in actually achieving these goals. And then with making these SMART goals, I want to encourage you on a couple of things. 1, I really challenge you to make one of these goals in the area of your health or wholeness. When we are healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, it improves all the other areas of our life. We can do more, we can achieve more, we can be the best version of ourselves. And also working on your wholeness. If there are some areas of your past you need to deal with, maybe this is the year you see a therapist and you work on some of those areas of wholeness in your life. Again, when we are healthy, it improves all the relationships around us. If you are single, I want to encourage you. Now is the time to invest in yourself and become the one on your way to finding the one. If you are married with kids, I know sometimes it can be so hard for us moms to sneak away and do something for ourselves like self-care or go after a goal or go after a dream. But I want to encourage you that working on your health, working on your wholeness is the best investment that you can make in yourself. I also want to encourage you to write down your SMART goals and then schedule them on your calendar. It's been proven that people who write down their goals are more likely to achieve them than people who just talk about their goals and don't write them down. And also, things that get scheduled have a more likely chance of getting done than things that don't get scheduled. So I would really encourage you, after you set those SMART goals, write them in your calendar. Another example of a SMART goal would be, instead of just saying, I want to spend more time with God this year, you would set a specific goal. For example, you might say specifically, I want to read through the Bible this year. And then the measurable way to track that would be to have a 365 days a year Bible reading plan that you are following, that you can track your progress. Okay, so after you have made a couple of SMART goals, the next way you can invest in yourself is buying a couple of apps or an online course that helps you stay on track with those goals, helps make those goals fun, helps make those goals more achievable and easier. So some of the apps that my husband and I have bought this year are a couple of different fitness apps. My husband is using the Apple Fitness app because it connects to his Apple Watch, and I am using the Peloton Fitness app because I like to use the spin bike. Another app that I bought this year was Audible because I want to read more books, but I really don't have time to read books now with 2 small children. So instead, I am listening to books. Right now, I'm listening to this awesome parenting book. I highly recommend. It is called Parenting Toward the Kingdom. There are also a lot of really great online courses. Online, you can learn anything these days. Like, I just finished building my website. I used so many YouTube tutorials, and I just finished launching this YouTube channel. I took a YouTube course to help me learn about YouTube before I started my channel. So whatever goal you want to achieve or skill you want to work on or way that you want to improve yourself for your career, your education, there are so many courses online that you can do. Maybe a new hobby you want to take up, like gardening. There are so many YouTube tutorials to learn any new hobby or skill. So if you're looking to grow spiritually this year, I would encourage you to look at the apps Abide and Pray and eSword for Bible study. If you're looking to do fitness, there are so many fitness apps out there. And if you wanted to look at one that is free, that is excellent, I would recommend the Nike Training Club app. Another website you might want to look at is meetup.com. If you are wanting to get back to a sport or a hobby, but you want people to do that with, you can look to see if there are any meetup groups in your area doing that running club or biking club or whatever. Okay, the third way we can invest in ourselves this year is by journaling. I am a huge fan of journaling, but I know that not everyone is. But hear me out, hear me out. It is so worth it to give it a shot. Whenever I need clarity or perspective, I find that journaling really helps me. I'm able to journal out my feelings, and I'm usually able to get to some aha moments. Whether I'm making a decision and I'm making a pros and cons list, or whether I'm praying through something and just journaling to God how I'm feeling, I'm just really able to get to the bottom of things in my journal. And I find journaling to be very powerful. Journaling is also a great way to track your progress with your goals, or track your prayer requests and see the faithfulness of God as He's answered prayers over the years as you look back over your old journals. I also find that my journal keeps me super accountable with my quiet time, with spending time with God, because I see every day if I'm spending time with God by my dates and my times in my journal and what I'm reading and what I'm learning, and I like to keep it all in one place. I like to have multiple journals. So right now I'm going through 2 guided journals. One is a faith spiritual journal where I'm journaling about like what I'm learning in scripture. Right now I'm reading in Genesis and Matthew. And then the second journal I'm doing is a guided journal for self-care for moms. There are so many awesome guided journals out there. You could do a fitness guided journal, a meditation, affirmations, gratitude, and the list goes on. Just Google guided journals. I will link down in the description below the 2 guided journals that I am doing now. And the fourth and most important way that we can invest in ourselves this year is by spending time with God. If you really want to become the best version of yourself this year, the one who is going to help you get there is not yourself, but your Creator. I have found that there is a direct correlation with the days I spend time with God, how gracious and loving I am with my children, versus the days that I do not spend time with God. I get a lot more easily frustrated with my kids. I yell at my toddler. I don't like it. And I have just found that it makes such a difference when I wake up before my kids and I seek God. If you are single right now in this season, I want to encourage you. This is such a great time for you to grow in your relationship with God, preparing for marriage. If you are married with kids, I want to encourage you that seeking God is really going to help you be the best spouse and the best parent that you can be. So if you want to start a new habit goal this year of spending time with God, but you're not sure where to get started, I have a free download on my website. You can go to ericawiggins.com/tools, and I have a freebie there called How to Have a Quiet Time. And it just goes through a couple of basic things. Have a plan, have a time, have a place, and a couple of other ones about not having your phone there, not getting distracted, and a couple of other tips. If you want to learn more about how to study the Bible and how to pray, in my book, Successfully Single, I have a whole chapter on spiritual health, and I go more into depth on how to have a quiet time, how to study the Bible, how to pray. And if you want to get the first 2 chapters of my book free, you can go to ericawiggins.com/book. And next month, my book will be launched on Amazon. And the last thing I want to say is none of these goals or tips or ways to invest in yourself are going to happen unless you take time for yourself. I know for me, as a busy mom, it can be so easy to feel like I should always be doing something for my husband, the kids, the house. And I really have to pull back and say, okay, I'm going to sneak away right now, and I'm going to take a few minutes for myself to work on this goal or work on this habit or work on my business, whatever it is that I need to do. Whatever stage of life you find yourself in right now, I just want to encourage you to take that time for yourself, because the healthier you are and the more you grow as a person, the better you can give to others, the more a blessing you can be to this world. I am launching my book next month on Amazon, and I am recruiting a launch team right now. So if you are interested in reading my book, Successfully Single, How to Maximize Your Single Years and Prepare for Marriage, if you are interested in reading that and being on my launch team, please let me know in the comments down below. The commitment is very simple. It's just to skim read the PDF that I email you, and then buy the book the week it comes out and write a review on Amazon. So what are you gonna do this year to invest in yourself? What is one SMART goal that you have? Let me know down in the comments below. Next week's video, I think I'm gonna do 3 tips for managing loneliness when you're single, but I also wanna hear from you. What topics do you wanna request for me to make a video on? If you like this content and you wanna see more, please be sure to subscribe.